Yeah. So when I picked up my Bentley 302, it's my first, sports premium bike, and I wanted to go on a solo ride. This is in 2019, and eventually towards Madurai, I met two guys on a Royal Enfield. So what happened is we became friends on the way. That's how bikers get along, right? And we decided to. I haven't booked a place in Rameshwaram. My plan was Rameshwaram 1 day and then Kanyakumari 2 days. These guys were the other way around: 2 days in Rameshwaram, 1 day Kanyakumari. So when I went towards closer to Rameshwaram, I didn't get a room. These guys said, come on, let's stay with us because we just two of us, and that's how we became closer friends. And eventually we had that good experience of riding along and then going to different ways in Kanyakumari and Rameshwaram. And finally we said, okay, let's meet in Kovalam. So once we finished all the ride and stay, enjoyed the site, and when we were returning back, what happened was that's where something negative happened. When I say negative, so we were trying to take parked in a place where it's a two-way road, a single road. So we were waiting for the bikes to cross, and suddenly 407 fish lorry came and hit us. Basically, he slept while he was riding. So if it's not for the bus and God's grace, right, he would have directly rammed into us. So he rammed into a bus and then hit my bike, Himalayan, and Ertiga, and then he came to halt. But by God's grace, nothing major happened to any of us except for one Himalayan was completely crushed. More than 40,000 rupees was spent to get it, serviced and back to its normal place. So what happened is after we crashed, I was a little surprised how this happened because we just stopped and it was not our mistake at all. But what you need to understand is in life, anything will happen, and how do you react to it is important. I keep saying God's grace because some people say it's luck. You escape within a millisecond, or within 1 minute, 1 centimeter gap. But I call it as a God's grace because God has been watching over us, and that's how we are safe. So after we crashed, I got my knee, and then what happened is I just saw my bike, nothing major except for the two footrests on the right side broke. So I can't ride with it. So we kept, finished all the police, inquiry, and then we let to go. So while going back, we went into the showroom to give this Himalayan to be fixed, and to my luck, there's no showroom in Kanyakumari for Bentley. So we ran into one of the guys from Himalayan, he was Royal Enfield. He looked us with another rider, and this rider was so kind enough to get me a spare footrest from KTM, and that's 125 KTM's footrest. Then he took me to Late and got it, custom fixed for me. While it's not that great, but it's good enough for me to reach Bangalore. So why I'm telling this is this is something that very a good place to be in because as a rider, whenever something happens bad, right, you break down. But for me, I was always positive. Eventually, what happened is I broke my boots. The sole broke off, and then my glass also broke off in that entire 3-hour stretch. You can easily say, why me? Why not somebody else? Why this happens to me? Most of the riders face that. But what matters is how positive you are and move from the ride. So after that, yes, I had a knee injury. I didn't use the back brake for the entire 600 kilometers till I reached Bangalore because there's a pain when you press the back brake. So I used only the front brake and reached Bangalore safe in one piece. So this is very memorable for me, and I'm still in touch with the guy who helped me in Kanyakumari. We're good friends. So this ride got me good friends and good experience. So this is the most memorable ride. We have a group of friends who ride together. So all of us had 4 KTMs, numbers in series. Like mine was 4619, then we had 4620, 2122. So we used to ride together. And one fine day, we're riding towards from Chennai to Bangalore, and I see another RC 390. So this guy was coming and he's trying to tag along with us. We like had a good ride, fun. We're trying to overtake each other in a good way though. And at one point of time, it is dark, right? And he asked me, "Where's the fuel station?" kind of thing. And I said, okay, I thought he's showing me a thumbs up, and I showed thumbs up back, and I started to ride. So when we stopped, right, after about 2-3 kilometers per time, that's when he said, no, bro, I was asking for where's the fuel station, and he showed me a thumbs up, and then he moved on. So this was really funny for me, because, we're trying to communicate with each other, but then, there are perceptions you perceive it somewhere different. Right. And I thought this, and eventually we became friends. So we kept riding after that for quite a few time, and we still laugh at each other. You were the one who just showed me thumbs up when I asked for the fuel station, kind of thing. So I started to ride as young as when I was 13 years old. My first bike was not my first bike, in the family. So Caliber is the bike which I started to learn to ride. And post that, my cousin picked up an RX 187 model Japanese engine, and he gave it to me for about a month, just enjoy the ride. So I used to take it to my school and back, and that's amazing. So, I'm kind of both, car and a bike guy. But then bike, I feel more, freedom to ride and get into the places where the cars couldn't go. So I was mostly into sports kind of, riding. I had quite a few bikes. So RC390 is one of the bikes which I rode most. I did about Goa to Bangalore in about 7 hours with 1 hour break, including in that. So totally 6 hours ride. So those kind of things was interested. But then, when you grow older and you interact with more people and explore things, right, you become more mature. So after that, I thought, okay, speed is not the only thing. Let's get into premium, and went into Bentley, and then I picked up, Expels to do off-roading. Excel 4V. I went up to Delhi, picked up the bike, and came down to Bangalore. It was the first bike in Bangalore, 4V bike. So literally, I picked up a new bike and rode it down to Bangalore in 4 days. So it's a slow bike where you do only 100 or 95 on highways, but still, you evolve as a rider. Speed is not the only thing. And then I switched to, the TRK 502 for my wife's comfort, because it's more comfort in touring. So that way, you can carry more luggage, and it's a comfortable bike to ride for 1,000 kilometers. And then I picked up an RX 100, my childhood crush, It's again, it's not about what type of bike it is. It's about what makes you happy, and does it fill your purpose? So that's how it is. Now, if you give me any bike, right, I'm ready to ride any bike, because you're matured. It's not that one kind of bike suits you. So that's the journey of mine. So I'm planning to pick up a few more childhood crush bikes. Yeah, hopefully God blesses me with that. First and foremost thing is, a bike is not a machine. I consider it as a human being, because you take bath, you take care of yourself with good food, and the same has to be treated with the machine as well. Good fuel, keep it clean. That's the first thing you need to take care of a bike. Because if your brake pads are not clean, or if your discs are not clean, you might end up in not misbraking it. So keeping the bike clean is the first thing. Then maintaining the tire pressures, checking the oil levels, and all the basic things which needs to be done. Not just you come park the bike, you start and then keep going. It's a process. What I do is, even it'll be a scooty or a car or a bike. When I start the bike, I keep it idling for 30 seconds so that the oil gets lubricated with the entire engine. And then, then take it for about 3 to 4 kilometers in a low speed of up to 40 kilometers speed per hour. And then, take it to the next level, because this will increase the engine life, and the bike gives you a good, smoother ride. That's second thing. And it's important to ride with the proper gear. So your helmet is most important, your gloves, your jacket, your riding pants, and your boots. So when I spoke about the accident which I had in Kanyakumari, right, I had my full gear. Just because I had a full length boots and a riding pad, the impact, was taken by these two riding gear. Otherwise, I would have broken my leg. But luckily, it was just a muscle tear. So this is very, very important. And I also use the riding, the hydration pack to sip water while, you're dehydrated. That is something important. So these are the few things which is important. There are many more, but I think these are the basics which you need to ride with. And like the superstar Ajit says, it is better to sweat than bleed. So it is true. Sweating is much better than bleeding.
Yeah, true.
See, one thing is, a rider could be groomed from very young age or even at the age of 40, 50. There's no age for the rider. But what is important is maturity. So when I say maturity, when to give a throttle and when not to give a throttle. Because, it's a fraction of milliseconds, yeah? And you go for a bigger bike or let's say even for 390 or KTM, any bike. It's about speed, but again, you need to know when to throttle, when not to throttle, because you have the entire power and the BHP and the torque in your hand, and if you can't handle that power, there's no point in you having the bike. So, you're going in a good ride, maybe somebody's trying to, this keeps happening every time on highway, somebody wants to race with you if you see a bigger bike, a smaller bike, whatever it is, but it's maturity, say, it's okay, I don't have to prove that I'm better than you. That is maturity. Yeah, because what I always say to my people or my known people is, you don't have to show you can ride to somebody else. You don't ride for yourself. Accident happens when you want to show off, pop a wheelie in front of somebody, or you're trying to overtake somebody. That's when accident happens. When you ride for truly for yourself, you're happy riding. You're happy riding whenever you want to ride a little faster or slow. You're ready for yourself. So just ride for yourself. Have the maturity to slow down in the road crossings, and especially during guard sections, to know when to overtake, when not to overtake. And again, the throttle is very important. It's then your rest. Just ensure when to throttle, when not to throttle. That's a simple thing. And again, along with this, your safety gears, and always think that somebody at home is waiting for you. So if you mischarge in 1 second, your entire life could come to an end. So 1 second matters a lot for you. So that's a simple tip. I hope that helps. You know your body, right? If you might be lean, you might be athletic, you might be plumpy, but you know what's your body limit could take. Yeah, you can ride for an entire day. Some could ride only for like 2 hours and a break. So just because somebody is forcing you, just don't do it, because you know your body what will take. A simple example is I went to Ladakh with my expels, and after going to Dacha, there are a lot of landslides, and people at home was worrying about my well-being there. And again, I had got a cold, fever. I could have easily gone to a lane and come back, but then I thought, with this condition, if I go on leave, it might not be the best time to enjoy. So I decided I'll go back to Bangalore, and maybe some other day I would, come back and finish the ride. So that's the maturity you need to have. Just because somebody's pushing you to do, you shouldn't be doing things. You know your capability, you know what your body could take, and that is something that you should be aware of. See, one thing is the passion to ride. Yeah, when I had this RC, or even now when I have this Bentley 302R, it's a sports tourer, but still, you lean forward. People ask me, don't your wrists hurt, don't your back hurt? It does, but when you love something truly, right, and you enjoy it, the pain doesn't really matters to you. You enjoy the ride, you enjoy the motorcycle, you enjoy the sound, you enjoy the corners, you enjoy the nature around you. For me, it's always been positivity, and your experience in life. Yeah, I'm very, close to God, and I think what happens to you is for better. And even when you want to do a ride and it cancels, right, it's for a betterment. There's no harm in going the next year, the year after. What really drives me is, especially when you have a work culture, right? You work in a company, I work in a company. Every day we go to work, some other problem comes in, it builds up. It's like a volcano, yeah? You have your glass full, and when you take on the load of your emotions, one day it overflows and you burst out. What I consider riding is, when I go on a ride very frequent, once a week, once in a month, I empty my emotions. I'm back to a normal human. Because when you take a ride, whether it's a short ride or long ride, you have a lot of things. You communicate with the bike, you talk to nature, you meet people. So all these things, take away all the negative which you had in your emotion quotient for last 2 years or 2 months or 2 weeks. You empty it. You come back to your normal self. So that is something for me is riding. You just go on one ride. You clear out all your emotions and come back fresh and start fresh. That's what keeps me, going. It's an accident, no accident. Still you got to ride. So riding is one kind of pleasure. I don't know how else to express, but that's something good to us. 99.9% of the time, you find the person who wants to help you, and that is not with a condition. It's unconditional help. Sometimes he might give you fuel and say it's okay, you keep it. I don't need it. You end up in no fuel at maybe in a highest peak when there's no fuel station. Somebody just come and give you a fuel, and if you want to pay him back, also you'll not take it. That's the kind of riders you will find. And to answer the question, to classify the rider, it's again, you should be open. Don't judge a book by its cover, right? So you just don't judge with anyone. And respect the riders. No matter you might ride a 100cc, 50cc bike or 1000cc bike, a rider is a rider no matter what you ride. And it's about the heart which says, I want to do. People doing Kanyakumari, I took Kashmir, like TU50, Scooty, not because they want to do something, because that's a bike they have and they're doing that with that bike. So that's the quality of a rider. Be positive and help others when in need, and be true to your heart, because you don't expect anything out of saying, I helped you today, you need to help me tomorrow. So that doesn't work. But somehow you'll get the help. Like how I got the help in Kanyakumari from the other rider. So that's important.